I bought a handsome and cool succubus online, but it kept making noises, staring at me silently, and its body temperature was extremely hot. Worried that it was sick, I hurried to ask the after-sales service. After listening to my description, the after-sales service was silent. Dear, is it possible that the succubus is not sick? He is just hungry and wants to kiss you or do something else bad. I spent a huge amount of money to buy a male succubus online. The product details showed that this succubus was handsome and cool, with 8-pack ABS and a dog waist. Most importantly, he was capable. This feature really touched my heart, and I paid without hesitation. As a result, just after placing the order, the customer service took the initiative to chat with me privately. Dear, are you there? What's wrong? It's like this. The succubus you just ordered has a good appearance, but a bit cold temper, and because it has reached maturity, it is also a bit strong physically. If you can't accept this one, I suggest you refund it first, and my store will recommend you another gentle succubus. I replied, no, this kind of cold and capable one is exactly what I need. Upon hearing this, the customer service sent an ambiguous blessing. Okay, dear, then this succubus will arrive at your home on time. I wish you and it a happy life every day. A few days later, a male succubus with broad shoulders, narrow waist, and cold face knocked on my door. The first time I saw it, I was stunned. The succubus family has outstanding appearance and beautiful faces, which is something that all humans know. But this is too beautiful. I don't know which precious and cold young man thought about it and went into the city. Master, the succubus took the initiative to call me. Her voice was cold and indifferent, but it was like a fluffy little brush tickling my ears. I waved my hands in embarrassed lie. No, you don't have to call me master. Just call me Songyu. By the way, do you have a name? My name is Lu Ang. Lu Ang handed his tail to me, a tail with a little heart, very beautiful. According to the regulations, you need to hold my tail to be considered a harvest. I hurriedly held it. Its tail was smooth and soft, and it felt good, like a toy. I couldn't help but pinch it. Lu Ang immediately groaned. Thinking that I pinched him too hard, I hurriedly let go of his tail and apologized. Sorry, did I hurt you? Lu Ang lowered his eyes and stared at me. His Adam's apple moved slightly, and there was a faint, strange sound in his throat, humming. No, I'm not ready. That's good, that's good. Thinking he was overly nervous, I hurriedly comforted him. Don't be nervous, or you can take a rest first. You still need to do a lot of physical work later. If you want, actually, we can do it now. Now? I hesitated a little. Well, that's fine. The strange sound in Lu Ang's throat was a little more obvious. I raised my hand and grabbed his arm and said gently, why are you still so nervous? It's okay, you won't be nervous after a while. Come with me first. He followed me to the kitchen obediently and then paused. In the kitchen? What's wrong? Do you like to start in the bedroom? I asked caringly. His eyes were heavy and hot. The kitchen is fine. I nodded and turned around. And then under his burning gaze, I stuffed a brand new rag into his hand and said softly, okay, Lu Ang, today I'll trouble you, a capable succubus, to help me with housework. You should know how to wash dishes, right? Wash dishes. Lu Ang looked at the rag in his hand, and his face flashed with confusion and mess. Yes, if you don't know how to do it, you can do mopping, sweeping, washing clothes, or other housework yourself. You bought me just to do housework? I blinked. Yes, what else? The next moment, I heard a strange sound in the throat of this succubus, and it stopped abruptly. That's right, I brought Lu Ang home just to let him do housework for me. This good idea came to me when I accidentally heard a colleague chatting. My colleague also bought a succubus online. He always praised the succubus at home for being hardworking and obedient in the tea room. He always took the initiative to cook for him, wash clothes, and do all kinds of housework, and he was so happy every night. When other colleagues laughed strangely for no reason, I, who was a bit stupid, caught a keyword helping with housework. My eyes lit up. I was too busy at work every day and had no time to clean up the house. My house was directly messed up like a doghouse, which made me quite distressed. So it was a great deal to have a succubus who could do housework. This is why I placed an order for the most capable Lu Ang. After taking a look at the tall figure washing dishes in the kitchen with a sullen face, I went to bed comfortably. In the following week, this capable succubus Lu Ang began to help me with housework. It was a little unfamiliar at first, but he became proficient in 2 days and was very smart. When I got up, he helped me fold the quilt when I washed my face. He handed me a towel when I got home from get off work. A sumptuous dinner was ready. Before going to bed at night, there was even a bed warming service. Lying in the quilt that he had silently warmed with his body fragrance and body temperature, I breathed a sigh of satisfaction, and my soul softened. Very good, worthy of being the most expensive succubus. It's so worth it and so practical. The only thing that puzzled me was that Luang always made a sound, that is, a snoring sound in his throat. At first I thought it was because he was new here and felt a little scared or nervous, but a month later he still kept chirping. Every night he would lie down beside my bed, not talking or playing by himself, just staring at me without blinking, his beautiful tail sweeping the floor, looking very resentful and aggrieved. I touched Lu Ang's forehead worriedly. It was very hot. Could this succubus have a serious illness? I hurriedly patted my bed. Lu Ang, don't sleep on the floor today. Sleep next to me. Can I sleep on the bed? Lu Ang was startled. I held his hand to stress lie. You can sleep next to me from now on. Lu Ang got permission and lay down next to me with his quilt. A beautiful uncold succubus nestled in my pink pillow. The skin on his face did not differ more sag due to gravity at all. It was still three-dimensional and clear. The picture was so pleasing to the eye that it made me feel dry in the mouth. But it still kept chirping, and its body temperature was also frighteningly high. Luang, you should have a good rest today so you don't have to get up early to make breakfast for me tomorrow. But you'll be hungry. I will go out and buy an egg-filled pancake. No, I will make it for you. He stared at me, or should it be my lips that moved because of talking, with a dark and unbearable look. I was just busy being touched. Woo, how can there be such a sensible and considerate succubus? I was careless and didn't take good care of him, which made him uncomfortable and sick. Guilt surged, and I couldn't help but lean over and kiss his forehead to express my self-blame. Lu Ang's eyelashes trembled. His breathing stagnated slightly. He called my name, his voice low and hoarse, Song Yu. When he was about to raise his arms to hug me, I had already stepped back without noticing anything unusual, and even pulled the quilt for him, distressed lie covering his hand that was just about to be raised and his restless tail that was wagging. I was afraid that he would catch a cold, and I warned him in a serious manner, be obedient, don't move around, and don't kick the quilt. Oh, Lu Ang closed his eyes with no desire to live. After turning off the lights, I laid down with my back to Lu Ang, took out my phone, and opened the chat box of the after-sales customer service with a heavy heart. Hello, boss. Something seems to be wrong with my succubus. The customer service replied, Dear, if you encounter any basic breeding problems during breeding, you can look through the succubus breeding manual. Oh, sorry, I forgot to send you the manual last time. I said dejectedly, It's okay. I feel that the manual should not be able to solve the problem because I suspect that the succubus is sick and it is a very serious disease. The customer service word, Dear, can you describe the succubus's symptoms in detail? He keeps ringing. His temperature is also very high, and he always stares at me, aggrieved lie. Customer service, this is normal. It means that he likes to get along with you very much. I was surprised. So this is normal. I thought I asked him to do housework every day, and he got sick because of it. The customer service was shocked. Do housework? Wait, you let your succubus do housework? I was at a loss. Isn't that right? Doesn't your brochure say that succubus is very capable and can give humans the ultimate happiness every day? No wonder your succubus is wrong. The customer service was hesitant to speak. Hearing this, I got anxious again. So he is still sick, right? Dear, he is not sick. He is just hungry. He eats well every day. I don't understand. The customer service was convinced and sent me a bunch of messages. He is not hungry in the sense of being hungry. He is so hungry that he wants to kiss you or do something else bad. After all, succubi are not used to do housework, but to help humans relieve their desires. In other words, Your succubus is in a situation of crazy hunger and greed for you, but it is throwing its seductive eyes to a blind man. After saying this, she also sent me a yellow bean smiling emoticon. Greedy for me, hungry, fuck. After hurriedly reading the succubus breeding manual that I had never opened, I was silent. It turns out that succubi are not used to do housework, and this ability is not that ability. I turned around and found that the succubus, who had closed her eyes and slept, woke up again without knowing it. At this time, he was staring at me with resentment, his eyes turned into a heart, and his tail was touching my waist through the quilt, not touching me. He didn't use any force, so I didn't notice it. When he saw me turn around, he was stunned for a moment and quickly hid his tail, but he couldn't help it. He came over sparsely and called me impatiently. His low voice was like mint candy, light and sticky. Master, I feel uncomfortable. He said this a few days ago and called me master in this sticky way, but I thought he was a spoiled child because he had a cold and fever. So I gave him a few cups of hot water, which seemed considerate but was actually ruthless. Don't say it. It worked. He didn't make a sound that night, but his face was black and green, like a dog in a bad mood. But now, thinking of what the customer service said, I couldn't help but cough lightly with guilt and then open my quilt. Do you want to sleep in my quilt? Yes, the egg Whitley got into my quilt, but I don't know why he took off his shirt so naturally. His 8-pack ABS dog waist directly blinded my titanium malloy dog eyes. He gently put his face next to the ends of my hair scattered on the pillow, then lifted his eyelids and stared at me straight from his eyebrows to his mouth. His eyes were heavy and greedy. Even if I was insensitive, I felt at this moment that the person lying next to me was not a taciturn dog, but an aggressive wolf. But without the owner's permission, it didn't dare to extend its claws. I coughed lightly and apologized to it in an embarrassed manner. Luang, I'm sorry, I have never raised a succubus, and I have no idea about your physiological characteristics. That is, the characteristics of being hungry. I thought that you were just companions to help humans with housework. It's okay, I like to do housework for you. As he spoke, his voice became louder, which could be called rapid. I swallowed nervously and remembered the first guideline given in the manual I just read. When a succubus is hungry, you can take the initiative to approach their arms and let them hold you. After all, the owner's body temperature and smell will effectively relieve their anxiety and hunger. So I said, Luan, if you are really uncomfortable, you can actually hold me. Okay, his eyes lit up and he stretched out his arms to hug me. The posture was proper at first, but after a while, seeing that I was just busy blushing and didn't show any disgust, he immediately became bolder, pressing my back with one hand and my waist with the other, his tail pressed tightly against my legs, burying his face in my neck, sniffing, his breath hitting my neck, and my consciousness gradually became chaotic. My God, the succubus's 8-pack ABS are really the real deal, and they seem to be worth more than his father's. Luang rubbed me for a while, and suddenly said in a hoarse voice, Song Yu, I still feel uncomfortable. I was secretly looking at the shape of his abdominal muscles and asked subconsciously in a daze, Then what else do you want to do? He looked up. I want to kiss you, can I? I hesitated. No, it's too intimate. I'm really embarrassed. Luang lowered his eyes, disappointed lie. Okay, it's okay. I'm not actually very uncomfortable. I should be able to get through it temporarily by holding you, master. You go to sleep. Don't worry about me. I will still make breakfast for you when you wake up tomorrow. Strangely, I could vaguely smell the fragrance of tea, but I had already been fascinated, so I immediately worried. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean anything else. I just think the kiss is a bit too fast. And don't be so wrong to yourself. I raised you and I must be responsible for you. Really, you can kiss me if you want, but you can only kiss once. I pursed my lips shyly. Thank you, master. Luang lifted his face from my neck. I thought he would be impatient to kiss me directly to relieve his hunger, but he kissed my chin first, then stretched out his tongue and licked me like a small animal, slowly trying to please me. I thought vaguely, that's right, the succubus itself is a clingy animal. It's just that the wet feeling on my chin made me unable to bear it, and I subconsciously raised my fingers to wipe it and naturally touched Luang's lips. He followed suit and started kissing my fingers again, staring at me while kissing. His eyes were dark. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I just pulled its tail with my other hand and urged, Lu Ang, kiss quickly, don't play. Can't I allow you to kiss me for a while longer? The result of indulging in a succubus is that my mouth was swollen from being kissed, and my tongue was cut, and it hurt even if I didn't speak. The culprit took an ice pack to help me reduce the swelling. Lu Ang, who had eaten and drunk enough, returned to his cold and taciturn appearance. Does it hurt? No. I blushed and shook my head, pinching its tail gently in my hand. After all, I, a shameless person, just felt refreshed. Succubus is indeed a succubus. It can make humans lose their minds. It is so fascinating that people want to put aside everything and think about playing intimately with them. Thinking of the exciting and blushing scene just now, I coughed lightly and barely regained my sanity. I had to have some vegetarian food, otherwise I was afraid that I would not be able to resist being a hooligan. Lu Ang, as long as you succubby feel hungry, I mean that kind of hunger. You have to do some intimate things with your master to return to normal. Lu Ang nodded, yes. Did you do this with your previous master? No. Lu Ang explained, I don't have a previous master. I only have you as my master. I was surprised, but also understood. That's right, after all, which buyer would be willing to return the goods after buying them? He shook his head again. That's not the case. Succubbi are divided into high level and low level. Low level succubbi can only wait to be bought and raised by humans, while high level succubbi can roam freely. Survive in human society, have equal status with humans, and even huge wealth. You are so beautiful, but you are still considered low level. Ah, I am very dissatisfied with this. I don't believe there are succubbi who are more beautiful than you. Who is blind to classify you as low level? Lu Ang's eyes flashed with confusion, and he hesitated for a moment. I don't know. I seem to have lost a lot of memories. It was the boss who picked it up. I am a succubus without identity proof, so I can only wait to be bought by humans. I was immediately distressed, and Lu Ang's ups and downs and miserable life experience flashed in my mind. He was definitely a beautiful, strong, and miserable succubus. I hurriedly hugged him and comforted him. It doesn't matter. Now you have me. We will live a good life together, and I will treat you well. Lu Ang's cold eyebrows curved slightly, okay. After my lips were slightly swollen, I nestled into Lu Ang's arms happily and kissed and hugged him again, and we were sick for a long time. The succubus finally released some of his desires and stopped making so much noise. He quietly closed his eyes and fell asleep. His eyes were red, his eyelashes were thick, and his tail was wrapped around my leg's possessive lie. But I, who have always been pure and unselfish, was very excited after this. If I had known that the succubus could make humans so happy, I should have taken it to bed on the first day I bought it. How many beautiful nights have I wasted? I squinted my eyes and sighed secretly for a long time, then took out my phone and planned to study the succubus breeding manual carefully. Since I have it, I should raise it well. But at this time, a pop-up window of hot news automatically popped up above the phone. The head of the Lu Group has been missing for half a month. The Lu Group has increased the reward to 9 figures. I implore those who know the situation to provide clues and pictures of the missing person. I swiped away directly, not paying attention to the news at all, but continued to look at the breeding manual with a lingering heart. I saw that one of the sentences was bolded and enlarged in the middle. Succubus are very loyal. They will only like their own masters throughout their lives, so they cannot be abandoned, and they cannot raise a second succubus at the same time, otherwise they will be overly jealous and turn blind. Of course, I won't abandon him. If I were to describe Lu Ang with an animal, it would be like the tabby cat in the cat world. It's too cold and has its own opinions. It's almost like it didn't abandon me cruelly. After all, I'm a plain-looking human with an empty pocket. I'm lucky to have such a beautiful succubus accompany me. The next day, before I went to work, I had an impulse to be reluctant to leave the land of tenderness. I may have regarded Lu Ang as a partner to do housework before, but since I kissed him last night, the relationship has naturally changed a bit, and I have added a trace of indescribable possessiveness. Lu Ang, it's a bit chaotic outside recently. Don't run around. A beautiful succubus like you will definitely be caught by bad humans unsold to others. I don't have money to buy you anymore. I'll come back to buy good food or I'll go with you. Okay. Lu Ang responded coldly, but his throat was still ringing, snoring, but he just lowered his eyes and pretended to help me nag carefully tidy up my scarf. I was familiar with the manual and my IQ was already high. I was not slow at all. I was keenly aware of his eyes falling on my mouth, from the corners of my lips to the beads of my lips, full of burning desire. I paused in my words and couldn't help but feel dry in my mouth and asked, Lu Eng, are you hungry? Yeah. Then do you want a kiss or a hug? Master, can I have both? Lu Eng's voice was low and full of temptation. I was hooked by this address and nodded subconsciously. Of course, you don't need to ask for my consent for such things in the future. I agree to them all. As soon as I finished speaking, he gently pushed my shoulder, and my back pressed against the door with the force. The next moment, a large shadow covered my eyes. After a night, Luang was hungry again, and the door of his house suddenly rang with ambiguous sounds full of intimate and pretentious. For a while, I was so dazed by the kiss that my brain was pounding. I didn't know if the neighbors passing by downstairs would hear this shameful movement. Finally, the bitter reality of being deducted for being late forced me, a cowed horse, to push his face away a little, blushing and hinting to him, Night, night, wait until I get home from get off work before kissing me. Okay, I'll wait for you. Lu An's breathing was also disordered. He said okay, and then said, I like you, Song Yu. After this sentence came out, I finally understood why some good men were eager to go home and miss their wives all day long, and why my colleagues who had succubby at home were always late and left early. Who can bear it when someone is waiting for you at home? I can't bear it. I am also greedy. I want to kiss my succubus and lift him up high. I also want to touch his abdominal muscles. It must feel good. Lu Ang has white skin. Will there be finger marks if I press it a little harder? What about going down? The thing that hurt me all night last night was not his belt. After all, his pajamas are drawstrings. The more I thought about it, the more excited I became. So, when I got off work that night, I rushed home with a springy heart. When I passed by the gate of the community, I found that there were several top luxury cars parked at the gate, which I had only seen on the short video platform of the rich bloggers. Wow, which neighbor has made a fortune? It's so strange. I don't know how to make a fortune with me, a poor guy with a monthly income of 3,500 yuan. After spending a huge amount of money to buy Lu Ang, I was a little stretched. I had to support him every month after deducting the rent, water, and electricity from my salary. I kept talking about getting rich all the way, but when I got home, I found that the lights were not on and it was pitch black. My succubus went to buy vegetables. Didn't you tell him to stay at home and not run around? I turned around and went to the vegetable market at the gate of the community to look for him. As a result, I ran into Lu Ang, who was going upstairs. When he saw me, his expression seemed a little strange. You're back. I nodded and asked casually, where did you go? Why weren't you at home? I went out to buy vegetables. Ah, where are the vegetables? I looked at the empty-handed succubus suspiciously. Lu Ang was silent for a moment and then apologized. I'm sorry, I'll go buy some more. Then he turned around and went downstairs. I held him and said softly, no need to buy more. There are still a lot at home. Okay, then I'll go cook. He changed into slippers and went to the kitchen to cook. It's strange. Before, when I just got home from get off work, he was waiting at the door and was already making a lot of noise, but tonight he didn't make a sound. Now he is distracted while cutting vegetables, and his beautiful tail, which always loves to swing around to seduce me, is also drooping with a heavy heart. Lu Ang is a little weird. What's wrong with him? Lu Ang has been acting weird for several days. When he thinks or is hungry, he just lies down beside me and stares at me with inexplicable emotions in his beautiful eyes. Instead, I couldn't help but be greedy, so I took the initiative to kiss him and drooped his saliva and played with his tail until it was wet. Lu Ang did the housework as he was told, and he even did it better and better, which made me a salted fish even lazier. However, several times when I got home from get off work, Lu Ang was not there acting mysteriously, and I didn't know what he was doing. I couldn't help asking him once, Lu Ang, has anything happened to you recently? The succubus who was washing my socks said vaguely, "Nothing. I just think I may have found my family." I was surprised. Really? That's a good thing. Do you need to take a leave to accompany you to confirm it or recognize your relatives or something? No, I can go by myself. He wrung his wet socks, turned his head to look at me, and pursed his thin lips. Song Yu, can I go out for a few days? My heart sank, and I didn't want Liu Ang to leave. His gestures and his overly precious temperament all showed that Lu Ang was definitely not low-level succubus. I vaguely guessed that he might have been a nobleman from the upper class before, but I bought him back because he accidentally lost his memory. What if he left and never came back? What if he remembered something and disliked me as an ordinary person? What if he recognized another human as his master? But he finally found his family, and I couldn't be so hard-hearted and hold him back. There was no reason for it. I didn't want him to be like this, to be so worried and unhappy all day. Finally, I sighed, then go. My permission surprised Lu Ang. He looked at me with a heavy gaze and said solemnly, Song Yu, I will definitely come back. I didn't believe it, but this night I naturally wouldn't let this succubus leave so easily. I had to make my money back. I spent so much money to buy it. I couldn't just kiss and hug it or let it do housework for me. I had to have some sex with it. So I deliberately pushed him to the bed in a fierce manner and commanded him rudely from a high position, take off your clothes quickly. You have to serve me for a night before you can leave. Okay. Luang obediently took off his shirt. Under the warm yellow light of the bedroom, his good figure was exposed with 8 abdominal muscles, a male dog waist, and a mermaid line extending into the private part of his pajamas. I swallowed my saliva. My heartbeat was deafening, and for a moment it was louder than Lu Ang's. Take it off. Take off your pants, too. A good succubus should be self-conscious, Song Yu. He didn't move, but lifted his eyelids, looked at me straight, and then pulled my hand over and put it on the drawstring of his pants. Help me take it off, because everything I have is yours, master. This submissive title made my legs weak, and I stretched out my hand, trembling lie. After a night of hanging out, fortunately the next day was Saturday, so I didn't have to worry about not being able to get up and being deducted for full attendance. But when I opened my eyes, Lu Ang was gone, but breakfast was ready and clothes were folded. I touched my bitten lip, and my heart was empty for a while. I lay at home for 2 days in a daze, and then, as a cow and horse who went to get off work on time for 200 Ju on full attendance, my life was dull and fucked up. Only occasionally, when I found the small item left by Lu Ang at home, I would stare at it in a daze, with a faint sense of death all over my body. I don't know whether he has recognized his family, whether his family treats him well, whether he has recovered his memory, and whether he has come back after half a month. Alas, Lu Ang is really like a tabby cat, abandoning his owner casually. Until a few days later, when I just arrived at the company that day, I faintly heard my colleagues at the next workstation chatting about some fresh gossip news. Have you heard, everyone? The missing Lu has been found. I saw the news too. It's a pity that such a rich and wealthy boss was amnesiac by a competitor, but I heard he has been cured. What's the boss's name? Lu Ang. I was sitting there in a daze and suddenly looked up. What the hell, Lu Ang? I asked in disbelief. What did you say the president of Lu is called? Seeing that I had joined the melon eating, my colleague smiled and said, It's Lu Ang, Song Yu. You don't usually pay attention to these things. You must not know this Lu Ang. Because he has a prominent family background, he is more handsome than those stars, and he is the #1 on the list of succubi that humans want to keep the most. Do you have a photo of him? My colleague swiped his phone for a few times, then handed it to me. Here, take a look. I looked at the phone in great shock. The man on the screen was exactly the same as my succubus. No, it should be said that it was the same person. So not only did I lose my succubus, I also lost the 9-digit bounty and even the chance to rise to heaven. What a sin. If I had known I was a bootlicker, I would have licked him more. Just when I was feeling lucky that I had found Lu Ang and was upset that I had missed the chance to make a fortune, my colleague said to me, How is he? Handsome, right? You don't know that he who has always been low-key has recently become a frequent guest in financial news. He settles accounts with shareholders who have done something bad to him and those who have offended him every day. He is decisive and ruthless. The end result is either bankruptcy or a job as a sewing machine operator. He is such a cold-blooded succubus. So don't offend him no matter who you offend. I was scared and realized something in an instant. If Lu Ang regained his memory and felt that it was a humiliation to help me wash socks and underwear in my house, plus do all kinds of housework, would he come after me? The answer is yes. He would most likely chop me into meat paste and feed it to the dog to vent his anger. I quickly contacted the landlord. What the hell? I should check out and run away. Or else I would stay and wait to be bitten to death by Lu Ang. I moved out of the original doghouse with all my might. Fortunately, when Lu Ang was at my house, I was only busy asking him to do housework or hang out with him, and I didn't tell him where I worked, so he shouldn't be able to find me in a short time. After the dog lived for a while, no one came to settle accounts with me, and I gradually let go of my worry. Am I making a fuss? A high-level succubus like Lu Ang has a higher status than many humans, so he shouldn't embarrass an ordinary human like me. Bullying me doesn't give me any sense of accomplishment. Besides, he has recovered his memory, so he might have forgotten me a long time ago. The latter possibility made me feel depressed and sad, and I was listless for several days. Forget it. I'll save money to buy a new one. The new succubus will only be used to help me, its owner, with housework, and I must not be tempted. Yes, I was tempted. After Lu Ang left, I realized belatedly that I actually liked him very much. I asked my colleague tactfully, is it normal for humans to like succubi? My colleague smiled and said, for humans, succubi are pets if you want to put it nicely, but a tool and pastime to release desires if you don't put it nicely. Few people will devote their feelings to them. Hearing this, I was silent for a long time. I didn't treat Lu Wang as a pet, and I never treated him as a tool. I just liked him very much. I wanted to kiss him, hug him, and live with him. After this month's salary was paid, I went back to the online store. I had just placed an order for a succubus with a good price-performance ratio and a look similar to Lu Ang, and the customer service suddenly took the initiative to poke me. He kindly reminded, dear, I saw that you placed an order for the second time, so I came to remind you that the succubi cannot have the same owner at the same time. They will be jealous and even fight. And replied, I know, but I let the last succubus go. Do you want to refund the first purchase? Dear, the succubus itself has no health problems. We do not support refunds. After all, it left because of you. Well, I know, so I don't want a refund. I just want to buy a new one. The customer service replied, okay, dear, don't be sad. I will arrange a new succubus to accompany you as soon as possible. Okay, the customer service said as soon as possible, but I waited for half a month. During this period, I went to urge the delivery, but the customer service ignored me inexplicably. I didn't pay as much as I paid for Lu Ang last time. Is it so indifferent? Bad review. Fortunately, half a month later, my door was finally knocked. That day, a deep voice came from outside the door, which was a little familiar. The succubus you bought has arrived. Please sign for it. I hurriedly pulled my slippers to open the door. I'm coming. But when I opened the door, I was stunned. I saw Lu Ang standing outside the door. He was wearing a straightened, expensive-looking suit. His face was as good-looking as before, but with a little more strength and sharpness of a stranger in power. At this time, he was staring at me like a male ghost. Song Yu, you dare to abandon me? I was caught and wanted to close the door and pretend to sleepwalk, but Lu Ang had already walked in. He pressed me against the wall without much effort. Why are you running? Abandoning me is fine, but you still want to buy other succubi. Song Yu, when I left, I should have tied up a black-hearted owner like you with a dog leash and took him away. He threatened coldly, one hand pinching my neck, as if measuring how long the dog leash would be to tie me. It was just a snoring sound. The succubus's fierce threats were mixed with unbearable sounds, which were long-lasting and familiar. I was frowning and wanted to count out for mercy, but I looked at him in disbelief. He snored, which meant he was hungry, and he also wanted to kiss me, hug me, and even do other things. So he didn't want to retaliate against me, and I was not afraid immediately. I tried my best to hold back my laughter and said, Why don't you kiss me first before scolding me? Luang, who was seen through, had a very bad face, a very awkward bad face. He coughed lightly. Who wants to kiss you? But you thought about it. And as your master, I have to satisfy you. Then, why did you abandon me? Luang was not happy, but the hand that was pinching my neck loosened. I hurriedly raised my hand and took the initiative to circle his neck, coaxing softly, my succubus. I didn't abandon you. I just heard about your true identity, mainly because I was afraid that after you recovered your memory, you would be unhappy to be raised by me and turn around to retaliate against me, so I ran away. After hearing this, Luang also explained, I didn't want to take revenge on you. I didn't come back because there were too many things to deal with. Now I just finished dealing with them and went to find you. But you moved? I sent someone to check and found that you bought another succubus online. Master, you said you would only raise me? His voice was cold but full of grievance. His eyelids drooped, and even the shape of the tail of his eyes was very good. I saw his pitiful look and he curled his lips at me. I bought it to do housework. This is all my job. Can their brains learn the 8 major cuisines in 2 days? Can they sweep the floor and warm the bed? I hesitated. Other things are fine, but with your current identity, are you still suitable to wash my underwear? Luang sneered. Why not? I think it's very suitable. What a domineering president, the real-life version of washing underwear with a cold face. I laughed. Okay, as long as you wash it. Give me a kiss first. I miss you so much. Luang lowered his head in satisfaction, but just before he was about to kiss me, I suddenly thought of something, a big thing. Wait, I'll go to customer service to get a refund first. Otherwise, not only will I not receive the second succubus, but I'll also lose my money. By the way, I don't know if the succubus is safe now. Don't let it be captured by bad humans. Luang's face darkened. He took my phone away, picked me up, and walked to the bedroom. He's fine. Ask about the refund tomorrow. Master, I'm so hungry. Luang carried me into the bedroom, closed the door casually, and laid me gently on the bed. The room was filled with his unique scent, mixed with the faint fragrance of tea, which made people sink more and more. He leaned down, his eyes burning with burning desire, his voice hoarse and full of temptation. Don't think about those things first. Now I just want you to have only me in your eyes. His warm lips covered me with a strong force that could not be refused and cautiously tested. His kiss was no longer as eager as before, but gently tossed, as if to incorporate all the thoughts of these days of separation into it. I unconsciously put my arms around his neck and responded to this heat. I don't know how long it took. Luang slightly left my lips, his forehead against mine, and our breaths intertwined. He whispered, Song Yu, I have been thinking about you every day in the past half month. After dealing with the things, I looked for you like crazy for fear that you really didn't want me anymore. As he spoke, his hand gently stroked my cheek, and his thumb caressed my skin. I was touched by his words. My heart was full of emotion and bitterness. And I scolded, You are still talking about me. You left without saying a word. I worried every day whether you would not come back. Hearing this, Luang hugged me tightly in his arms, with his chin resting on the top of my head. No, I will never leave you again. I have arranged everything. From today on, I will be your exclusive succubus, belonging to you alone. I leaned in his arms, feeling his strong heartbeat, and suddenly thought of something, raised my head and asked, What about your current identity? Lu Group is such a big family business. Don't you have to manage it? Luang chuckled. Don't worry. I have arranged everything, and there is a professional team to take care of it. I just want to accompany you well now and make up for the time I missed before. As he spoke, he lowered his head and placed a kiss on my hair. As I was talking, my stomach suddenly growled at an inopportune time, breaking this ambiguous and warm atmosphere. I covered my stomach in embarrassment, my face flushed. But Luang smiled happily, his eyes full of pampering. It seems that my little greedy cat is hungry. Come on, I'll cook for you and let you taste my new cooking skills. He took my hand and walked into the kitchen together. In the kitchen, Luang tied an apron skillfully, and his appearance overlapped with the succubus doing housework in my memory, but he was more confident and calm. While humming a little tune, he prepared the ingredients in an orderly manner, and from time to time he turned back and gave me a bright smile. After a while, the table was filled with delicious dishes. I took a bite and my eyes widened instantly. Wow, Luang, how did your cooking become so good? Luang raised his eyebrows proudly. In order to make my master happy, I have put in a lot of effort. As he said that, he picked up a piece of meat and fed it to my mouth. Eat more, you've lost weight. After dinner, we snuggled on the sofa and watched TV. Lu Ang's tail unconsciously wrapped around my arm, shaking gently from time to time. I played with his tail and suddenly remembered the succubus I bought before and asked, what should I do with the succubus I bought before? Lu Ang's face sank and he said jealously, return it, and you can only have me as a succubus. Seeing that I was a little hesitant, he softened his tone and said, aggrieved lie master, you are not still thinking about other succubi, are you? I will be sad. Looking at him like this, I couldn't help laughing and scratched his nose. Okay, I'll listen to you and return it. Who makes me like you the most? This little jealous person. Yuang then showed a satisfied smile and hugged me tighter. Outside the window, the moonlight sprinkled gently on the earth, and inside the house, warmth and love flowed. In this quiet time, I know that the days to come, with Liu Ang by my side, will definitely be full of sweetness and happiness. And our story will continue to write a romantic chapter in these ordinary and warm years. Days passed, and Liu Ang completely integrated into my life. He would prepare a loving breakfast before I went to work, and would not forget to put a small snack in my bag. When I got home from get off work, I would always see him early waiting at the door, took my bag and gave me a warm hug. On weekends, we would go shopping at the supermarket together and stroll hand in hand on the street. Liu Ang's outstanding appearance always attracted the attention of passers-by, but he didn't care at all, just holding my hand tightly undeclaring his sovereignty. Sometimes we would stay at home, watching movies and playing games together, and laughter filled the whole house. Once the company organized a team building and I didn't want to go, but Lu Ang encouraged me to communicate more with my colleagues. He said, Master, you can go and have fun. I will wait for you at home. On the day of the team building, I would think of Lu Ang from time to time, worrying that he would be bored at home alone. But when I got home at night, I was stunned by the scene in front of me. The house was decorated very warmly with flickering candlelight, and the dining table was full of my favorite food. Liu Ang, wearing a handsome suit and holding a bouquet of flowers, walked up to me, welcome home, my princess. At that moment, I was so moved that I was speechless, and my heart was full of happiness. As time went by, the relationship between Liu Ang and I became deeper and deeper. When I was sick, he would stay up all night to take care of me. I would also listen patiently and comfort him when he was occasionally depressed. We are like each other's harbor. No matter how turbulent the outside world is, as long as we return to each other, we can find peace of mind and warmth. One night, Liu Ang suddenly said mysteriously that he wanted to give me a surprise. He blindfolded me and led to the balcony. The moment he let go of my hand, I was shocked by the scene in front of me. Colorful fireworks bloomed in the night sky. Against the backdrop of fireworks, Liu Ang knelt on one knee and took out an exquisite ring. Son Yu, meeting you is the luckiest thing in my life. Are you willing to let me always be with you, protect you, and be your eternal succubus? Tears blurred my eyes, and I nodded desperately. I do. Liu Ang stood up, put the ring on my hand, and then hugged me tightly. The fireworks were still blooming in the night sky, illuminating our happy faces and witnessing our eternal love. Since then, our lives had been filled with sweetness and anticipation. Although the process of preparing for the wedding was busy, it was full of laughter. Liu Ang strived for perfection in every detail. He says, this is the most important moment in our lives. We must do it perfectly. On the wedding day, Liu Ang was handsome in a neat suit. I wore a white wedding dress, took his hand, and slowly walked towards the other side of happiness. With the blessings of relatives and friends, we made a lifelong commitment. Life after marriage is plain and happy. Liu Ang still gives me little surprises every day, sometimes a flower, sometimes a small snack made by himself. We raised a cute kitten together and named it Little Happiness. Whenever I see Liu Ang playing with Little Happiness, I feel that I am the happiest person in the world. Many years later, we sat in a rocking chair, recalling every bit of the past. Luang held my hand and said affectionately, "Thank you for letting me find true happiness." I leaned on his shoulder, smiled, and said, "Thank you, too, for always being by my side." For the rest of our lives, we will see more scenery and create more memories together. The afterglow of the setting sun sprinkled on us, warm and beautiful. In this little home full of love, our story continues and never stops.